Hey, and welcome back! I'm still streaming technically, but welcome back to Xenogears. We're on part 2 of this layman's terms analysis. Highly still recommend checking out Resonant Arc and doing their thing. But if you are here because you want a more simple analysis or an analysis from myself because I have my own interpretations, then you're in the right place. But do expect us to be having a lot of discussion. Make sure to leave some comments as well as we're going through. You know, write down your thoughts, and I will read. I will read and try to answer what I can. But yeah, we're back on the stream, so let's keep going. Okay, so we just learned Raijin. Might as well show it off. Literally a power geyser, like Terry Bogard. So let's also show Ellie's ether abilities off. I recorded again so that way people... Gaspar! Yeah. I was just talking about Chrono Trigger references in this game. Because the game was supposed to be Chrono Trigger at one point. So... What was it? Ellie is your effective mage for this game. And she can cast 4 elements. And they're really powerful. And the enemies, the birds up there, they won't come down and attack you until like those ghouls are defeated. And elements do play a big part in the game. But what's even crazier is just how powerful ether can be in this game. If you put on an ether doubler, which you eventually find in the game, you basically have win the game. You have win the game activated. Every single... Hey, we got Screamer! Let's go! We got her death blow. We did enough triangle and hexes, and we got her to level 5. But, well, I'm not gonna say beyond here. So here's another moment coming up, which is why I started recording. Faye, yesterday you said your life was worthless. What did you mean by that? Why are you asking? Why? Yesterday you looked like you had a death wish. You think it wouldn't make me wonder? Say, how did you get stranded in this forest in the first place? I should ask you the same question. Huh? Well, I ran away from my village, or what's left of it. Village? You don't mean... Lahan. It was a small village that existed between this forest and the mountain range. I ran away from there. That village... It was a nice, peaceful village. Everyone there treated me like family. Then, last night, a group of gears suddenly appeared and started fighting right in the middle of the place. The village was engulfed in flames. Couldn't just stand there and watch as Lahan was destroyed. So, to try and save the villagers, I got in an empty gear without even knowing how to operate it. I just thought maybe I could do it. No. It was more like someone whispering to me. Someone whispering to me, telling me to do it. But it was a disaster. The village! So, not to interrupt my voice acting and everything, but, whispering. Now, you might confuse this for a certain. Now, there's a little bit more to this, you could say, but also there's a little bit more to this. So don't immediately assume, because there is a character who says that they think it's that. But there's a little bit more to this because of what happens in the game. If you know, you know. But, moving on. Was it destroyed by the Kislev army? Faye? So, funny that she just brings up, oh, was it this army, right? So she's already saying who it might be, which already letting on more than she knows. No, the village was destroyed by me. Yes, it was me. I destroyed Lahan. I'm sure of it. What do you mean you destroyed it? Because that sounds very strange, right? I thought you were trying to help save the villagers. I did try to help, I actually took out a few gears. Then I came under heavy fire from a new group of gears. And then my friend, Timothy, was hit by a hail of bullets. Then I lost it. Everything just went dark. I don't remember anything after that. The gear I was in went out of control. Well, that's what the doc said. When I came to the village, and everyone in it was Alice. She was such Alice and Timothy. Oh God. Everybody. All such good people. Went out of control. The gear. What about the village? Faye? Yes, the gear. Damn them. They're still giving chase. We've entered Ave territory. I'm not giving up now. This gear's too important. That's done it. I'm at a disadvantage now. Van Houten, what's wrong? Respond. Trapped now in my back. My thruster's output is dropping. I can't maintain altitude. Damn it! Everyone land now. Regroup on the ground. We'll have to engage them. So the question is, who were they running from? Was it the Kislev army? But if we take a look, hers looks like the floating gears that we saw. They have the gun and a similar shape. It's not those weird Musha-looking gears we saw. Oh, there they are. And see, they start shooting, so that may be the Kislev army, perhaps? If they had never come to the village, never started fighting there, so now we know Elly was there, though, then I wouldn't have tried to pilot that gear. It's all their fault, not mine. They're the ones to blame. If they'd never come, none of this would have... It's not for them. Enough of that. You're a coward. A coward? Me? Yes, you're a coward. All you're saying is them, them, them. Don't talk as if you have no part in the blame as well. I'm to blame? Yes, that's right. Of course the direct cause of the battle was the gear that made an emergency landing in your village, Elly. But all Kislev wanted was that gear, right? They weren't invading or out to destroy Laha. The real damage occurred because you climbed in the gear and tried to fight back. Whatever made you get into that gear? Not just anyone can pilot them. It takes training. There is no way a civilian could help to pilot one. Besides, you should have been helping the villagers flee to safety instead. Which is what Citan did say, after all. But, let's not forget, there was something that was causing him to get in there. Something telling him he must do it. How can you blame the damage on the gear when it was your decision to fight in it in the first place? Why don't you take some responsibility yourself? Why are you putting all the blame on others? That's just running away. That's what makes you a coward. Well, if you put it that way, yes, it's right. I am a coward. I didn't realize my own strength, and I've been blaming what happened as a result of that on others. I'm a pitiful excuse for a man, but I just felt this rush of blood in me. I couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself or help others. Faye, I'm... Shut up! What do you know? When I came to, I was surrounded by piles of rubble. I didn't know what had happened or what I'd done. I remember absolutely nothing! All I knew was that my hands could still feel what they'd done. The only things that penetrated the gear's barrier were screams! Screams accompanied by the stench of blood, the sound of crushing bones, and my own curses. Look at my hands! Can you hear their voices? Can you understand this feeling? The feeling of having destroyed your village with your own hands? of not being able to do anything for the children left behind. Now they have nothing. I have nothing. I have nowhere. No one. I didn't want to get in it. I had no choice. There was no other way. Sorry for crying. I have to wipe my tears. When I act. Okay, I'm just letting you know. I put myself in Faye's position, and I try to empathize as damn well as I can to deliver that, because I feel that's a very important scene. If I'm going to be reading it,
I'm talk not... as if it's not your responsibility.
No, I didn't do anything.
They died because you had to pilot the gear and start fighting.
It wasn't me, can't you understand?
So there's a little bit to talk about with this scene. We'll come back to it later.
Not just anyone can pilot those machines, you know.
I didn't do it.
Why won't you take responsibility?
I'm not so strong.
Why are you trying to put the blame on others?
I'm not even all that talented.
You're a coward!
That's right. I'm a coward.
So, aside from the English dub being a little bit, you know, missynced with that, yes, that's right. I am a coward. So, there's a lot to break down with that scene. But as I was saying earlier, if I'm going to read a very important scene, I'm not going to read it. I am going to give you the best delivery I can, because I'm seeing the character. You know, you like, and I've practiced this scene a lot. Actually, I still have a privated version of that recording, but I think this might be my better delivery overall. I'm not sure, but I have a privated version that I haven't released yet because I'm still like, I keep practicing it over and over and over. And I know it's like, this isn't maybe the best translation we could have ever had, but still, you know, I give my best. And, oh, sorry, I have to stretch. But, you know, like, I feel like when you see the way the characters are expressing, like, he is completely devastated, you know, and I have to deliver that. I have to deliver someone who is in this moment, like, she is looking at him and she can no longer call him weird. She can't say there's something wrong with him, because for her to suddenly shut up and just then step away, she kind of read him. He kind of made it very clear how he's feeling and how terrible that is. But that triggered something in her, as we saw. That must have been the past, and she was projecting her feelings onto him with something that must have happened to her. Because remember, they showed her. So an interesting thing to break down with that scene is they show a light on her when she goes, "I'm not strong enough," and it looks like she's answering to someone, right? Because who actually, you know, looks up and goes, you know, like that, right? And it seems like what she was saying there to herself, that was her saying what she was saying to Faye, but it's almost the same words maybe someone said to her. That's what that scene, you know, how that scene's kind of going. So she's projecting what was said onto her onto Faye, because she saw the same issue of doing something out of your scope, and, you know, because you wanted to help, or there was something you were trying to do, or maybe it was something unintended and it got people killed. So, you know, her saying that's right, I'm a coward, is something that she is admitting to herself from the past, and realizing maybe it wasn't right to call Faye a coward. Maybe it's me who's projecting. And I can't talk too much about it, but the purple, if you know, like, oh, the basic color meaning with purple, royalty. There's a little bit more with that, though. Actually, what was it? I forgot to look into, so because the most prevalent themes of alchemy in this game are Nigredo, Rubedo, and Albedo, and even more so in Xenosaga. But I can't remember if purple beyond royalty had another meaning in alchemy. I'm trying to recall. Oh, purple, clothed or covered the incorruptible mind. Incorruptible. They clothed him in purple, incarnate, incorruptible, fourfold wisdom, clothed in purple, love and truth, the purpose of man's experience on earth. So, she was bathed in purple. I'm gonna have to revisit that one. Because, like, it's not too big of a thing. It isn't, but I was almost equating that to who was putting that light on her, as if, like, she's making a confession at that very moment. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, we're back. Okay. Okay. So, sorry. There was... The stream had an issue, it seemed. Now it's back to normal again. Okay. All right. Sorry for people who were following that recording and then just saw me be like, what's going on? So, yeah. But we'll have to revisit that one. I like how, now that I continue, music starts. It's like she was waiting for me to... But... Uh-oh! Spaghetti! I don't know why I'm saying spaghetti. But, dinosaur. You have a bit of a delay. Uh-oh. Oh, the audio stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend... a stream bitrate of 128. Oh, no! So, I'm just gonna take a look into this audio bitrate thing. I thought I'm at 128. Oh, I'm at 48. Wait. Oh, I'm at 160. Okay, so I don't know if I could... I think I could change the streams on the fly. Yeah, I think so, maybe. If not, that's okay. Alright. But, getting back to it, we don't need to worry too much here about dying. So, story things, of course. Elly! Well, looks like we saved her before she became dinosaur food. Uh-oh, yeah, it's complaining to me about the delay or something. And then it goes excellent connection. That is really good. I don't know if I have to restream. Because I think it would stop the recording. Maybe not, but... Elly, are you alright? Darn, she's unconscious! So we can't really do much about this guy. Like, if you see the damage we do, even if we do Raijin. Like, oh, 17. That was a lucky miss. How did the dinosaur pick it? Well, you know, it scooped her up with his tiny little hands. It was like, you know, cute little hands. So I'm just using this specific combination of moves in order to level something, you know, in order to unlock our next move sooner. So that way when we just hit the level, we can get it. Not that it requires triangle, square, but it's just to use those buttons. Hey! Hey, I've been searching for you. Here, you can use this. Hey, hold on a second. To tell me I can use it is one thing. Elly, damn it. I find it. I'll just say this scene feels a little too like convenient because it's like there's a big object and the dinosaur's like, just go over here. Like, it's like it's threatening, you know? It's like, oh, well, you don't get it. If you don't get in the robot, Shinji, I'm gonna eat your girl. Like, Doc, I have a favor to ask. I'll defeat this monster. But if it looks like I'll go out of control like last time, then shoot me. Faye, let us pray that won't happen. So, I don't even know if he has a gun on him. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm not even sure how we'd expect to, like, I don't know, shoot a mecha and somehow land, you know, the shot right through the cockpit. I don't know. So now we'll be able to use our first move. So I'll show that off. So now we can use Raigeki, which means lightning. Is it lightning strike? Geki. Raigeki. Well, Rai is of course for lightning, thunder. Ah, he slowed us. No, our ATB meter is gonna charge slowly. And then I guess that means we're gonna have to. So I'll show you another thing. There's a thing called booster in this game. Basically, for additional fuel, you get increased. You basically get the equivalent of haste, like Final Fantasy in your mecha. I can't remember if you do extra damage also. I don't think you do, but it is very useful because then you could basically double on some moves. And I'm using the light attack, even though I could just use X. But, technically, what was it? You can even use square when I think about it. But, if you're trying to conserve fuel, sometimes that's a okay way to go. Elly smells like food. Well, oh, good point. Elly does smell like food. Yes, she smells like, you know, the meat of a human, as opposed to a metallic oil spewing thing, fuel spilling thing. Alright, so we even got an accuracy boost, which is very nice. We even got an ether defense up. You gotta love those ether defense ups, because, yeah, magic hurts. Hey, are you alright? Yeah, I guess so. That fight with the Rancor was remarkable. An ordinary gear could not defeat that monster, and you certainly keep yourself in good shape. So, interesting to comment on that. Why did you bring this here, Doc? That's another weird question, isn't it? Why did he bring that here? This? You mean Veltal? Veltal is a German word, or spelling of it. Veltal? Wait, how did he know what the gear's name was? This is the gear that destroyed our village. Why did you bother bringing it here? I never want to see another gear again. I understand how you must feel, but in order to protect yourself, you need a certain degree of strength. Even more since we're being pursued. I agree that a certain degree of strength is needed for self-defense. And if it weren't for this gear here, Elly and I'd be the Rankar's in that Rankar's stomach right now. But its power goes beyond what's necessary. Does one really need the power to destroy everything? You know, you could just say no, Citan. You could just say no. I don't need that kind of power. Just hate gears. Faye. Using power and being used by power. Is that not a problem of the heart? Oh, Citan, I know exactly what you're referring to, but I'm not allowed to say yet, because that would be spoiler territory. He had 2 days to get into the works of Weltol. Oh yeah, true. But here, I mean, there's a little bit more to Citan, but yeah, you know what? With 2 days, he'd be able to. So, you know, this is Dr. Uzuki after all. He's already that object that we saw in his house is what he used to fly it over. If he could do that, or even get that working, then I'm sure that says a lot about, you know, he could probably make anything work. If humans do not use their power for wrong, it can be a good thing. I believe such a power can help us. Oh, there's his answer. In that respect, I know you will be fine. It sure helped you out this time. Am I right? I want to believe that, but something is holding me back. This gear. Well, whatever. At least Elly is safe now. She seems to have come to. Huh? I am Citan, a friend of Faye's. You almost did not make it. If Faye had not helped you, I hate to think what may have happened. But I was not too pleased with his rashness in trying to take on that Reincar with just his bare fists. Bare fists? Well, I am glad that you were able to find a use for what I brought you. And then, of course, she recognized it. She knows exactly what it is. She was there. Every conversation has spoiler half the time, it seems. Yeah, pretty much. A lot of conversation has a lot of spoiler in Xenogears. Does it all bites you in the ass later? Let us just say we are... But also, what I was saying earlier about Citan, let us. This is his thing that he does. Let us just say we were borrowing what the Kislev army left behind. Oh! Thank you, Faye. This makes twice. Don't mention it. I'll just put it on your tab. It is getting dark. Let us make camp now and start out early tomorrow. The both of you look tired, and I need to make some repairs on our friend here. Yeah, he definitely got into it. Let us. That you do. He almost reminds you of a certain someone. But it is no use. The knee actuator and the bypass circuit are both ruined. The actuator can be fixed, but the circuit needs to be replaced. Oh, I'm having trouble sleeping there. Yeah. I imagine you would. You have had quite a day. This is the machine Faye used when the village was attacked. There was another machine left sitting on the outskirts of the village. Oh. Nilbaya das Legus. It was yours, right? So... yeah, Degozaru. Oh, no. So, why does he know how to speak that language? Just questions you should ask. Questions people who have never played the game should ask. Just as I thought. The missing pilot from the gear that made an emergency landing in Lahan, and the mysterious woman found wandering lost in the forest are actually one and the same person. Judging from your uniform, I would also say you are with the military. Am I correct? Who are you? I checked the ID tags of the soldiers who died in the attack of Lahan. The design of their tags and the design of your uniform, there is the same. Anytime I laugh or I do something weird or have to pause on something, just know there's more to this. There is way more to this. But I can't tell you because it's spoiler. Do not worry. They were given proper burials. But they may not have been too pleased to die in a foreign land. Oh, why do you know about their culture? Maybe. Does Faye know about you? I don't think he's realized yet. Most likely. Faye knows nothing of the world outside of Lahan. I see. So, how come? In any case... Oh, just change the subject. In any case, it is best if we do not pry into each other's pasts anymore. So he's already saying it right there. Let's not pry into each other's pasts. So, what's his past? And why is he cutting her off at, I mean, well, But, let us just say that I know a little more about the world than most do. Oh, a little. Anyway, Ellie, I have a favor I must beg you to do. What is it? Go straight ahead, and you will come to a road. Then just keep going. Would you please leave us while Faye is still asleep? Unfortunate things keep happening around Faye. I would like to protect him if possible. I do not want him to get up in I do not want him caught up in any vain struggles. I am also saying this for your benefit, Ellie. You do not belong here. Go back to your family. Do not worry. I will not tell Faye what your true identity is. I will just tell him when you went to... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm like suddenly feeling... I will just tell him you went to meet up with your family. No, it's not that. I did something terrible to him. So, I want to apologize. Something terrible? Faye told me it was our fault your village was destroyed. Faye kept saying if only they hadn't come. Then I called Faye a coward because he was trying to escape from the responsibility. But in fact, it was me who was trying to escape from taking the blame. If I hadn't crash-landed there, they would all still be living peacefully now. All those innocent people wouldn't have been caught up in that tragedy, but I accused Faye. So, she is showing she does actually empathize with this situation. You are a rarity. I did not expect your people would ever think like that. As I just said, it is interesting that she's able to empathize. I can't speak, but it's interesting that she's able to empathize with Faye. And we'll find out why eventually. To your people, surface dwellers are nothing more than domesticated animals, are they not? So, surface dwellers, to them, as they call them, lambs, quite literally, they're just not even, like, they are not, even though they are conscious thinking humans, they are considered no better than an animal. Pretty screwed up, huh? The shepherds, Abel, took control over the surface-dwelling lambs, possessing the right to give life and death unto them as they see fit. Exactly. Yet you seem to feel responsibility towards Faye and the villagers. Why is that? I don't know myself. At Jugend, I was taught that surface dwellers were stupid and base. And that is why we have to control them, but upon meeting Faye, something about him made me feel differently. Yes, he's no different than we are. In fact, he seemed more powerful. He possesses something we don't. He also risked his life to save me twice. Most of your people would feel ashamed at receiving such an act. Yet you are grateful to Faye. It's probably because of my father. He had an open mind to surface dwellers. Oh, well, there you go. My name was a surface dweller. Oh, my nanny was a surface dweller. No one knew about her, though. Besides, I am the same as Faye. The same? No, nothing. Never mind. Well, we know how she means the same. She's clearly experienced something very similar to Faye. So that's why she feels really awful. She can actually emphasize with the situation, not just sympathize, based on how she called herself a coward. I think I understand, but she was reacting out of spite of herself because she's like, this would be like the thing where you say you kind of see yourself in a person, so you tend to get angry at them because you see them, they're like you hate seeing yourself that you deny from yourself. You can't accept yourself that way. You know, it's a part of you that is, it's a part of you that is you. And you want to forget about it, you want to reject it, you want to reject that weakness, but it is ultimately a part of you. And she saw that with Faye, she was seeing herself. So, but to accept oneself and all your flaws is what it means to be a whole individual. Gnosticism. See, now we're throwing in the Gnostic things. Now the Gnostic stuff starts coming up. I'm already throwing it at you very early though, way before they start making it more obvious. in terms of like visuals. I think I understand. I'm sorry. After just saying we should not cry. It is my nature, you know. My wife says I am too persistent and that I talk too much. But personally, I do not think I talk too much. It is probably best if you return home to your country. You really should not be here. I'll return to headquarters, but then what? You are working. Yes. Worrying is natural. Even I used to worry once too. Oh, Citan. Anyway, let me handle. Oh, I didn't catch that one when I played last time. Okay, so him saying that. Well, I'll let you guys figure that one out. But him saying that, there was quotes. I used to worry too, you know. So, or wait, no, it was just the same quotes. But I mean, he used to. Just him saying that I used to worry. Just think about read between the lines. Like, I feel like if you really pay attention, you can really read between the lines based on his first interaction with her, right? I used to worry too. What does that mean about Citan? Think about it. Anyway, let me handle what to tell Faye. You would better get going now. Oh, you would better go now. Sorry. Oh, the game sound is too loud? Okay, my bad. That means it was loud for everyone. So, let me turn it down. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, some songs are a little bit louder than others in here. Actually, we don't need to worry about voice acting from this point too much anymore. Like, only one more that comes up, and then it becomes a little bit more rare. So, what I was saying, if that didn't come through on the recording, was, you know, Citan said something pretty clear there in that, you know, there was, like, the way Elly responded to him and the way he said, I used to worry too, that's just something, you know, I'm sure you could read between the lines on that one if you think about what their early interaction was just like. Has Elly gone yet? Oh, so you were awake. Yes, I woke up midway, so I only heard part of what you two were discussing. So he probably didn't hear him speaking the other language. Elly, so that's what she is. Faye, she is... I know. It's not Elly's fault. What happened in the village was all... So, this is, once again, you know, psychologically, somewhat... So, just to discuss, you know, Citan is very much not what he seems. Yeah, he's not Eloin. But, psychology-wise, let's discuss psychology. So, my girlfriend, Retro Girl, you might know her. Actually, you probably don't. But she is an artist animator, and, you know, we are working on a project together and all this stuff. But she's, you could find her on Twitch streaming art and animation and all sorts of cool stuff. But she was, sorry, just, we've had, quite a long history with each other, and, I had recognized signs of depression with her quite early, and the thing with depression, and she, you know, now we've finally, managed it, it's really hard. It is an absolute uphill battle, depression, and the most you can do is manage it and find ways to manage it. And, you know, if you need SSRIs and whatnot, then you need that. But here with Faye, what happened, you know, even despite hearing that, no, it was actually her who's at fault, Faye is still blaming himself. And I guess, you know, like, and I don't blame him because, you know, he feels responsible enough that, you know, if he'd never jumped into the gear and then it exploded all over, you know, exploded the village, he would have, you know, everything would have been fine. But at the same time, the origin of the issue started with Elly's emergency landing. That is really the true origin of it all. And it's very unfortunate. It's something that was out of both of their control because she had no choice but to land. Maybe she should have, maybe she could have, like, piloted elsewhere, but unfortunately that's what happened, right? And who could have known that remote village was there? It's remote, it's isolated from everyone, everything. Probably no one even knows it's on the map. Maybe, right? But a thing with depression. Oh, personal experience? Yeah. So you would even know is, like, I remember so many times telling my girlfriend, like, you know, trying to, like, she would self-blame for things that were even out of her control, feeling karma, maybe it was karma, maybe it was something else. She would find some way to take responsibility for something out of her control and be down for days, even a month, 2 months, and no matter what you tell them, even if it was your fault, even if it was someone else, even if it's like, no, there's no, like, I remember, like, you can't, logic doesn't work here either. You can't be like, look, there's no way it could have been your fault. This is 100% out of your control. If the person hadn't started the train, or, you know, you could use whatever example, etc. But with depression, it is absolutely, exactly, dichotomous thought. It is so hard to break free of that feeling and what it does to your mind. It is, it's paralyzing. You could literally give up on living, not even like killing yourself. You don't have the energy to do it yourself. Especially, you'll just lay there and rather just let yourself die from hunger. Let something do it, because you don't have the energy to do it. And like I said, Faye is very accurate. We don't see him trying to take his own life. We don't see him trying to find a gun and shoot himself. But when Elly had a gun, when the situation presented itself, he was encouraging it, because the energy doesn't exist. Like, that's how it works. It sucks. It's the worst thing ever. So, you know, this is a lot. There's a lot of self-loathing, a lot of self-destructive thoughts. Self-destructive thoughts is a big thing in, you know, in heavy depression, debilitating depression. So, you know, and I learned a lot of this, and I guess you too, Elwin, at such a young age, that I was recognizing depression in so many people around me, and they didn't even know. None of their friends knew, and it's like, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do about it. And even then, it's not that I don't know what to do about it now, but I know it's not, I don't have the, like, I am dealing still to this day with friends who have depression, but I know that I don't have the exact power, or I'm in the specialty within my job currently. That's not my specialization, and I don't have that jurisdiction to actually help people with that. But I can tell them for sure that they need to seek medical help, because that they can, you know, bring you to the right people, you know, and they can figure out what will help you, what degree of help that you need, and hopefully help you get to a better place. But it's a thing of management. You can't necessarily just cure depression, and it sucks. It really does. But this is something that Faye has to contend with throughout the game. And there's like a lot of stuff that happens. There's a symbolic approach to this, let's put it that way. He's not gonna get medicines per se or anything. And in some ways, maybe some of the experiences and things he goes through are exactly, good therapy is godsend. Absolutely. Therapy is something my girlfriend still needs to go through, but she can't at the moment. She has to, you know, once I am licensed, then I'm going to be able to help her more as well with that. But for now, I can't even provide for her to be able to provide for herself. She's currently having to provide out of, you know, out of pocket. But she can't do therapy at the moment because she can't afford it. And that's the thing that sucks about therapy too, actually. It's also, like, depending on where you are, some countries, some places put that as part of your health plan, and some don't. And I know over here, it's a bit weird, but it's not exactly, it depends on where you are, and it depends on your health insurance, and there's a lot of factors. I myself have seek therapy for anxiety. I deal with anxiety. But beyond that, yeah, just, his journey and what he goes through is, there are some forms of therapy there, maybe even a weird self-therapy, because it gets interesting. Let's just put it that way. But for now, he is going to be pulled along by destiny and fate, essentially. He's gonna be in a roller coaster ride that is kind of out of his control. And in some way, well, we'll go through the psychology as it comes up. I took out all my pent-up feelings on Elly. I'm the one who should apologize. Faye, do not blame yourself. It was not your fault, either. You were just trying to protect the village. Thanks, Doc. By the way, how is everyone from the village going? Do not worry. Yui is taking care of them. I told her to leave soon and take them all to a certain place. They should be safe for a while. So you just worry about yourself for now. So I forgot where that certain place is when I played 2 years ago. Now I know where that certain place is, and yeah, that's all I'll say. I can't, spoiler again. Literally so much dialogue in here is spoiler for the future. Now to think what we should do next. Shall we leave this forest and head for the desert town of Dazil? We may learn what Ave and Kislev are up to, not to mention getting some parts for Veltal. So, now that I actually know more about, like, having gone through in what I was doing for the past 2 years, and I'm not gonna go too much into it. I can't. Personal life is separate from this life, okay? Two separate things. But now that I have learned a lot of stuff, I realize Citan is doing a thing. Citan is doing a thing you do in relation with, patients who have depression. You have to kind of, like, in some way, it's not that you make decisions for them. They don't have the ability well, it's not that they don't have it, but it's hard to make decisions in that instance. It's hard to decide to do things. It's hard to think of what you want to do with yourself. And that was something with my girlfriend. I remember, like, she would go along with what I told her to do at times, or what I suggested, but she sometimes wouldn't act on it herself. She wouldn't really do things for herself when she was at her worst point. And now I'm seeing it here, and I'm like, oh shoot, so now that I know even more than I used to, I'm realizing, oh, he's saying, here's what we'll do. Like, it's so, and that's how you're supposed to, like, say, it's like if you are working at a place where, you give them a goal to focus on. So if you're like, hey, say you're helping, you're working in, a ward, right? Say you have a patient that is in a ward. They had to be voluntary or involuntary admitted to, and maybe you're their therapist or whoever, etc. And in this instance, you would have to be like, okay, well, we need to take care of the person's hygiene. We need to make sure they eat, or try to help them eat, etc. So you don't say, hey, do you want to eat? You say, hey, let's go and have some food. Citan, oh my god, he really is a doctor. But, so you go like, hey, we're going to eat now. Hey, let's do your shower, right? You don't make it a question of if they want to. You just, kind of give them that goal. You just make it a thing to do. Like, we're going to do this now, because they don't have the energy to even really know if they want to do it. And some of the time they'll say no because they want, like, it's, it's energy, it's resources that they need to give of themselves that they don't have. They're too depressed. Oh man, oh my gosh. So now as I'm going through this, I'm gonna start even realizing more, and something that I can focus on that Resonant Arc doesn't have. Okay, I'm not saying, oh, I have one on them, but it's just something that they didn't get to go in as often that I can go into with knowledge in this area. The leader of Ave is not going to sit back and let the other knight's fiasco go unpunished. So, in other words, he's also saying, oh, hey, and by the way, these guys are gonna come and get us if we don't do anything. So, not that he's, and it's like, because he's a friend of Faye, it's like, well, I don't want to get killed. Lend them the spoons. Exactly. Like, so, I'm not saying this is 100% accurate, but you know how there's, like, the movies where, like, in this, it's not like the character in some of these movies are depressed, literally, like, they don't have they don't have depression. But there'll be points where it's like, oh, someone will come in and they will clean up the house for them and do all these things for them, and it's because, yeah, you don't have the energy to in that moment. What is that? I would assume it's an aerial battleship from Ave. An aerial battleship? I've never heard of Ave having anything like that. So he knows a little bit about the outside world, or at least what's the outside world to him. Because it's been thousands of years that they've been fighting each other, Ave and Kislev, so there's probably some books and some general knowledge, especially with some of the characters whose family live outside. He probably knows Ave and what's going on over there by word of mouth. Of course it does not come from Ave originally. Most likely it belongs to the Gebler forces stationed in Ave. Remember what we said in episode 1, or, if you were at the beginning of this live stream, we talked about that whole exposition and how it's like, hey, remember Gebler, remember Ave, remember Kislev. There you go. Special forces from the Sacred Empire of Solaris, known as Gebler. I am sure you have heard something about them. Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in the beginning of the game, perhaps? Player. They're an organization providing large-scale military aid to the Kingdom of Ave. They showed up in Ignas several months ago. Until then, Ave was being routed by Kislev. So, as you see, they revisit it. Even if you didn't take notes in the beginning or pay attention, they will tell you again. But with Gebler's help, they have managed to regain half their losses. Now they're expanding their territory and gathering resources buried in the ruins. I've heard of the village elders talk about it. I've heard the village elders, but is Elly a part of that? Quite possibly so. Their group has superior technology and power. It is rumored they are here solely to get the resources in the ruins. I'm surprised they are using something as powerful as that ship. It must be to suppress the recent border skirmishes. So they are fighting the Kislev Empire? Yes, it seems they have found new ruins on the northern edge of Ave. Those ruins are under the 500-year-old temple. 3 weeks ago, Kislev took over those ruins. Most likely they're fighting over that. So, as you see, that does match up with what we saw in the exposition. Oops. And, so, and he does suggest that Elly may be from the Gebler forces because the technology and this and that. The fact that she landed down in his village, so higher technology, gears that can fly, maybe? Maybe? I'm just gonna open my window, so don't mind me looking a little weird here. It is rather hot. Okay. Alright, there we go. So, on recording, oh yeah, also, fun fact, actually, before I pause the recording, but you may notice that Citan has really high HP, but his stats are like, they're not too far off from, Faye. He's level 5, he has an attack of 20, so 1 less, he has the same defense, better evasion, 1 point ether higher, 1 ether defense lower, 2 more agility. Like, okay, but apparently his HP was a glitch. This was unintended. He's not supposed to have that high HP in the game. apparently. But it somewhat works to his benefit of being mysterious, funny enough. So, but otherwise, yeah, his HP is not supposed to be that high. So just a fun fact if you didn't know. Something from Takahashi. Okay, so I'll just quickly show Citan, for those of you who are noticing I didn't go straight to the town. So funny thing is how his ability is labeled as arcane. A little interesting. We have to still gain a death blow on him, but just to kind of show how he fights, he's quite interesting. He's also a martial artist. But I like how he does a finger gun, and that's like really powerful. So imagine this guy got finger gunned and just dead. He just died. He's also really fast. He has the splits, and he does a double spin kick, a little tornado kick. Really cool. Oh, he might gain his first ability. Nope, he didn't. We'll have to train that. Actually, just to show what learning death blows looks like to those of you who have never played this game. Oh, also, Elowen, I meant to say thank you so much for subscribing. It's been very fun. Oh, look at that. But it's been very fun discussing some of these concepts, and I am also glad you were understanding of what the recent topic I was discussing. I don't mean to bring up any negative memories either or anything. Let me know if there's anything that triggers you that I should know about. But I really do thank you for being here. And as I was mentioning, so how this works for new players who want to get your special skills, the next move we're learning with Fei, Senretsu, which means 100 strikes. Wait, no, Sen. Sen is, well, yeah, Sen is 100. Retsu is 100, right? But regardless, yeah, Senretsu Kya. So 100 blows. Where with Chun-Li it's 100 kicks. Senretsu Kyak. So it's like multiple 100 blows. But notice how that says 100, and then the thing below it says 62. So to learn Senretsu, we have to do triangle, triangle, X. But the thing is like, oh, but we've been using like square more recently, or we've been doing just triangle X. Well, how it works is supposedly you're inputting triangle and X an amount of times. Once you hit that threshold, when the numbers keep going up, then once it's at 100, when you get to the proper level, boom, you learn it. Hagan is square X, so I think we have enough X's. We just got to use more square. That's all we got to do. Citan still needs to do more triangle X, so I will give a quick show of that to show you how this exactly increases. So we'll get into another battle, just to give you guys a quick like, oh, if we did this amount, this is how much it gains. Okay, so let's see. It also helps. Oh, yeah, it helps to have 5 AP. Absolutely, that unlocks a whole wealth of moves, which is really cool. But let's see. So we'll just do triangle X since that's what we're trying to learn for him, and we're just gonna throw a bunch of square with Fei. And as long as the hit lands, it could be blocked, it still counts. Another thing I found interesting about this game, and this also aligns with why I like these type of like this game would inspire my interest in like monk characters in RPG games, as well as my interest in unique weapons or etc. in other RPGs and everything, or just video games in general, and in real life actually. Oh, we learned Ukigumo. So as you see, we're at 53. We did 2 triangle X's. Bam. So we just learned it. It learns really fast. But Hagan, where is that at? We did 4 squares. So where does that put us now? $67. So we're at like 53 before, or 50 something, and we went up to 67. So maybe we got to throw in some X's as well, because it only went up so high. Since we used triangle and X, we're already almost learning triangle, triangle, X for Citan. Alright, so we're gonna go into town. There's gonna be a lot here. Oh boy. Well, not too much, but just enough that there's like relevant story content, essentially. All right, Dazil. This is Dazil. Yes, that is right. The desert town of Dazil. But what's interesting is you might notice the game is lagging here, and that is something that happens on the original PlayStation. Meaning the emulation is working 100% as intended. Something I've always appreciated with emulators is like, hey, if the game lags here, then maybe that was part of the experience, per se. Not entirely, not all the time, but it also speaks to the girth of like how much elements are there for the PS1's hardware. Kind of like with Mega Man X, when there's so many sprites on screen, the game lags, like with Armored Armadillo stage. So they're gonna give us a whole overview of this new town. This town's lively. I don't know if it looks familiar to any of you. This is the center for all excavations in Ave. You know, desert and, you know, like interesting little embedded town design. You know, it's like kind of made of the same ground. What could that possibly remind us of? Maybe something very classic. We have a guy who knows nothing of the world. And he's going on a journey of self-discovery. I mean, it's not like he, you know, this person I'm referring to in this series I'm referring to had him destroy his entire town. But he is setting off with a wise person who knows more than they let on, who might be in some ways a mentor. What does that sound like? Oh, I just can't think of it. I'm just joking. It's Star Wars, people. It's Star Wars. You know, Citan's kind of his Obi-Wan, except, yeah, he's only Obi-Wan for like 5 seconds. When I say 5 seconds, I mean like however many hours in-game. But he's only, you know, Obi-Wan for a few moments, and then, you know, this is like maybe its own self-contained small reference, per se. And then Faye is our desert boy, who, well, see, he didn't come from a desert now, did he? Right? But he does come from a mysterious past. We don't know who his father is. Oh, and we also don't know a lot about him. He mysteriously is able to control a power. You know, he somehow exploded. Not that this other character that I'm referring to exploded, Anakin Skywalker. But you do see the little dots there, huh? This is only in light reference, though, because what they do with it is something else entirely. But, moving on. People come from all over Ignis to try and find the resources buried in the ruins around here. We should be able to find out what both Ave and Kislev are up to here. And we also have to gather the things we need to repair with Veltal. Repair Veltal. That's a trigger word for him. Veltal. The gears. Yes, we must exchange the broken parts to fix Veltal. Otherwise it will not be able to function at all. There is an ethos. Ethos! Ethos! Remember what I said at the beginning. Ethos. Like, my hand can't even reach it with how much significance it has. But ethos. A workshop in the southern part of the town. Let us go there, Faye. Yeah, okay, Doc. Let's check this place out then. Hey, I haven't seen you around here before. Don't think that if you cause trouble, you'll get away with it. We're Ave Army Guards. Remember that. So they are part of Ave. Soon this area will be totally excavated. We'll have to find another place with buried treasure. Running into those army guys is real dangerous. If they find new ruins, they'll take them over for themselves. So, I wonder where the best place is. I came here looking for fortune, but all the good sites are controlled by the... So, a very big thing to remember this, write this down somewhere, write it in your notes. Very important to understanding the lore and world and politics of Xenogears, okay? This is a political thing here to remember. But it's controlled by the military. Now, which military are you referring to? Ave? Gebler? I'll have to go home, a failure. What should I do? Okay, so he says the same thing. I don't think we could... Yeah, okay, there we go. I wanted to try my luck in treasure hunting. I'm pretty successful. The reason I found a good partner. Even now, he's looking at the map, analyzing our next step. I sure depend on my pal. Is he referring to this guy here? Because I don't know about that, man. But it's probably someone else. Oh, yeah, there's a special interaction that you can actually miss here. Let me see if I could do it. We gotta walk to a very specific place on the map. This is totally optional. I'm trying to recall where it was, though. Wait, no, it might have been around here, but... Oh, there it is. Huh? You can miss this, because if you stay on the bottom and just go where you're supposed to, you can completely miss this. That's amazing. They're doing digging right next to this town, too? This is an Ave-run excavation site. The machines and gears found here are valuable resources that could turn the tide of the war. They are indispensable to the war effort. Anyway, Faye, let us move on. We have more pressing matters to do than taking in the sights. But yeah, a really cool scene. Like, you don't see scenes like this in Xenogears often at all. In fact, I don't even know if that's the only one or not. But that's just, yeah, they don't show things like that where it's a completely separate CG. They don't. It's like I can't remember more than that one, but that's why I remember to do it every time, because it's so cool looking. They're pulling a mech out from the desert dunes, like, oh. I love, if you couldn't tell, I love mecha a lot. I'm kind of horny for them. I'm joking. But I really love mecha though. In fact, my most favorite mecha anime currently is not everyone's favorite Gundams, but it's Mobile Fighter Gundam, Mobile Fighter G Gundam, which is kind of like an alternate universe to Gundam, but it's very focused on martial arts and all that stuff, and there's a lot of like martial arts elements that come up. I mean, I was a martial artist growing up in my life, and I stopped around high school, but then I pursued like capoeira in Portugal. But yeah, so that's... Oh, I forgot to talk about that one thing. I was talking about, so Faye and Citan are, well, you get Elly as well, but the weapons they're all using... Yeah, Domonkashu! I love Domonkashu! He's so cool! And, you know, but Faye... Actually, I felt like, Baby... I was always wondering, like, if I ever could meet Takahashi, I'd want to ask him if he's seen Mobile Fighter G Gundam, because it feels like there's inspiration. Just slight inspiration there. I don't know for sure, though. But, you know, what was it? Faye and Citan being martial artists that are fighting, and Faye remains, like, a martial arts person throughout the... I just spoiled something. But, Faye's a, martial arts, so is Citan, and it's rare to see that as the main protagonist, as opposed to, especially back then, as opposed to someone with a sword, and maybe their partner character, like Tales of Eternia, also known as Tales of Destiny 2 on PS1, and Tifa Lockhart, and Zel Dinchit, I don't know how you say that one, Dinkt, and a few other characters that are like, oh, they're just a side character martial artist, they're never the main character. It's extremely rare. So, this kind of made my interest change a lot. Like, Xenogears really changed me, not just on a philosophical aspect or a thoughtful aspect of, like, even how I speak and, you know, communicate with people, but it's also changed me on what I enjoy. That's why I love Suikoden's, like, box art and the character, you know, the main character of the gameplay, because a good chunk of the main characters, 1, 2, well, I mean, you could kind of say 4. Reverse daggers is more common for, like, a thief character, not, you know, like, Zidane is, like, the one exception. He's, like, a really rare exception. He's really cool because of that, though. But 5, Suikoden 1, main character, Tyr McDull uses a staff, like a bow staff. Suikoden 2, Ryo uses Tonfa. I'm actually experienced with Tonfa, by the way. And then, no one uses nunchucks though. Like, there's no nunchuck main character that I'm aware of in any game now that I think about it. That's unfortunate. I also know how to use nunchucks, or nunchaku. But the fifth, Suikoden, uses a tri-section staff, which is now one of my ever since that game, tri-section, well, and Suikoden 2, which the second primary tertiary to primary? Well, one of the main characters that also travels with the main character is there most of the time, uses a tri-section staff. The main character in Suikoden 5 uses a tri-section staff, which is one of the most adaptable melee weapons. At least I feel it still is, because it's a staff, but you can use it like a whip. You can use it for defense, offense. It's a long range and a short range weapon, middle range weapon, all in one. It's so cool, all the things you can do with it. And if you have like a little chain or a rope to pull on it, so you can make it like a normal staff, then you have like everything you need. Oh, so cool. But anyway, this town is important because of the base for excavating ruins. The elite of our army are stationed here, like in this build. Yeah, I think so. This town is the center of all gear excavating in Ave. They take the generators out of the excavated gear to make new models. Protecting this town is essential to beating Kislev. I left my family... You guys are winning. What are you talking about? I left my family at home to come here. I want to finish my duty here and go home. The Kislev army is up to something in the land north of here. But don't worry. If anything happens, Gebler will back us up. Oh, of course they will. They will. Those guys. This is the Ave Army's Dazil guard station. No civilians allowed. If you have no business here, please leave. Oops. So, learning a little bit about the politics, but also, yeah, sorry for also going into my own, like, personal interest there instead of talking more about the game. Please forgive me for those of you who are watching at home. I keep saying that. Civilian worker gears have no chance against military worker gears in excavating. But even if we had a military gear, we wouldn't be able to operate. Why could that be? Haven't met you before. So you want to rent out a sand buggy too? Sand buggy? A sand buggy is a special type of vehicle designed for the desert terrain. Its tires will not get stuck in the sand. You really need them for long desert trips. Sorry, but all of our buggies are lent out now. Do you want to wait for one? Some of those guys hunting for parts should be back soon. I see. Well then, we'll have to come back later. I don't think he says... Yeah, he doesn't say anymore. Okay. I know there was someone who explains eventually. I'm in a fix. The generator sensor is broken. It's the only thing that can sense buried gear generators. Without that, I'm ruined. Not entirely important, just learning and expanding the world lore. Since those Gebler forces came, Ave hardly ever lost to Kislev. I wish the ethos would give out some of those new powerful gears. The ethos? What do gears have to do with the ethos? Only the ethos has the technology to maintain generator-driven gear. So, why is it that a specific organization has to be relied on for better stuff? Isn't that strange? Think about it. Think about it. Like, imagine this. Imagine this scenario. Well, here. The ethos decides which gear gets which generator in which country. Think about that. So, if an organization decides who gets what, doesn't that mean they have all the political power to decide who wins? Think about it. So, let's put this in. Let's create a case study perspective. You are a person on the Kislev army, and you're a soldier who is in contact as like an emissary from the Kislev army to go talk to Ethos about needing a generator to power a gear that you have the blueprints for that you would be willing to work on. And they say no, right? You go to, trying to think of an existing thing. You go to like just a place that designs weapons. They excavate. Well, they don't design weapons, but they excavate and they hold on to these things. Microchips. Okay, so think of it this way. Do you remember? Not remember. Do you know about our current super chip shortage for computers? Well, guess who decides who is getting those super chips? Well, the people who have to make it, right? And it can only be made with a very specific material, which is very rare. So the guys who sell it kind of have the most power over it. They decide who gets it, who gets these super microchips for the computers or other machines that require this today, right? So they can charge whatever price they want, but what is to stop that person? Like, so whoever is the highest payer gets to have those resources so that they can boost development, thus boosting their economy, right? So in that case, these guys are holding on to the very things they need to power their gears, to power actual power needed for an ongoing war. But it's not even a thing of who's the highest, bidder payer. They just get to give when they feel like it. They give it to who they feel like giving it to. So that's kind of scary. Because if you are, say you're the daughter of said person I was just talking to who has to get that, and then father says, oh, there's an Ave guy that just came in, and they just gave it to him straight up. I guess we're kind of screwed. Imagine that kind of news. So just something to put into perspective. Like, that's the most probably extreme version of it, but that's kind of what's going on here based on how Citan described it, if you were to put it into perspective. So right here, as you know, we found the arcane rod. I feel like this was an accident. Maybe it wasn't, but a leather whip. We don't have anyone who could use a leather whip, according to this. These characters do not use weapons. So what gives, right? But otherwise, we could buy the fencing gear, the fencing wear for what was it, for Faye, because that's a little better. We could buy the fencing cap for both of them, and we don't need to get these per se, but it wouldn't hurt. We could have it for now. We're gonna be, just as a warning for those of you who are playing, or trying it for the first time, don't put anything, like Citan is, he's a character you'll have, but not at first in some areas. So if you want certain things, then take it off of him, and if you don't, then don't put on things you don't want to put on him. Let's see, we're going to give the accuracy. We're actually going to steal his glasses. I'm sorry, Citan. We're taking your glasses away. We'll give him the fencing cap. And we're going to actually give this to Faye for now. Even though, like, 2 extra attack power would be great. I'm trying to think of what's coming up. Actually, we're not gonna... Ooh. Yeah, no. I can't remember if accuracy also applies to... I feel like it does. I could have sworn it does. Okay, so another thing to put out there. Certain stats on your characters actually do apply to characters when they're in their gear. So with Faye, your ether applies, your ether defense also applies, and your agility applies. Or does it? No, that was response time. I could have sworn accuracy also applies. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. But for now I'm putting that, because I know something that's coming up. We're not going to be fighting on foot for a while with Citan, technically. Like, we will, but not in the immediate future also. Like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours from now. In an hour maybe, but yeah. I wonder who built all those ruins. Some say an ancient civilization which ruled this land long ago built them, but after looking at the results of the geologic tests, I have my doubts. Oh. Oh. Questionable. Does he have anything else to say? No, he doesn't. But really interesting. So, people say that ancients built them, but he has his doubts about that. What could that mean then? Now, if you read between the lines, you might be able to guess, but I won't spoil, because that will actually come up later. My hubby ad's so smart with his rune theories. Why don't we just leave the ruins? Oh, this makes it so obvious. Remember what I just said about they control who gets the political, like they have political power simply by controlling who gets what, right? They can influence political power by giving people necessary means to win battles and all that stuff. So why don't we just leave the ruins to the ethos? Let's just leave it to the ethos. Let's just leave everything to the ethos. And he thinks, like, oh, well, they say, maybe he's referring to the ethos, that it's from an ancient technology. His geological tests prove otherwise. So, what does that say about the ethos? I'll let you think on that one. I can't say yet. I can't give it away yet. But I know exactly what that means. I'm sure someone in the comments will even explain it. The battle with Kislev the other day in the desert ended in a complete victory for us. We need the army because they get us generators from the gears found in the ruins. We'll never give this town or our ruins to Kislev. I think we heard that, so they just copied and pasted that. There are burglars out looking for treasure in the desert ruins. Brr, shivers. Oh, I just wet my pants. I better be careful too. Oh, you better be careful too. What's with the kids in these games? In this game, holy smoke. They are a riot. Like, what? There's another kid that I think too that well, not just a kid, but a character as well. There's a kid and a character, a guy that will meet like halfway into the game that are referenced in Xenoblade 3. Won't say who though, but it has something to do with the ocean. We'll get to it when we get to it. You look tired. You can stay overnight at the bar, so why don't you rest there a little bit? Traveling all worn and tired might just get you killed. In other words, hey, use inns. So I could have sworn there was like, there's an object you were able to interact with. Was it this? Like, I think there was something that's a water well. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. Wait, you know what I haven't tested? Oh, okay. Well, now I've just tested. I was like, I've never tried to go in the house behind that person. Aha, we did it. Oh, here's our boy. Okay. Thinking into the night, this sure is a noisy place. And steal their treasure. Yeah, ha, ha, ha. Wah, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, we did it. Aha, we did it. Who'd have thought it? I didn't think it would go so well. Sneaking in the night. Follow after the army excavation. So and steal their treasure. So these are the very thieves or burglars we just heard about. Well, in a place like this, you have to expect this kind of atmosphere. Yeah, but even so. Shut up! So, this man with a big bald chin, big left chin. Uh-oh. Why are y'all yapping when Big Joe is here trying to drink in peace? Man refers to himself in third person. Can't y'all shut up? Who do you think you are? I don't care if you're Big Joe or Big Schmo. Or Big Schmo. You don't mess with me. Yeah, you sure talk big. Can you dig for treasure as good as you talk? What's that you say? You're so tough. Always looking for junk laying around. Why don't you do something more productive for once? If you ask me, you're a big puss. Hey, stop it. This guy's trouble. He's looking wild. Ah, shut up. Just shut your trap. Yeah, that's right. Run home to mama, little boys. Damn you! You'll keep. You'll keep. That's a weird one. Ha! Cowardly little punks. Why? This man sure likes to make his presence felt. So Big Joe, he is. You might think he's kind of silly. You might think he's a guy with a big cleft chin and a star on his cheek. But there's more to this man than meets the eye. In the weirdest way possible, too. He's not important to the story of Xenogears. But he's interesting. Also, I mean, he has a portrait. He has a portrait, okay? He has a portrait. So sometimes that means something. That means like they're kind of important, usually. It's a telltale sign with any RPG, usually. But he's not as important as you think, but there is relevance surrounding him. Something I would say maybe could be, maybe world lore, but you know, I'm not gonna say more than that. You drinking too? Booze is my life companion, especially in a sucky world like this. Everyone's searching for dough and dynamite. Huh, how unromantic. We won't stay. Because we're looking pretty healthy. But we will go travel upwards just because. You know, exploring the world of Xenogears, seeing things as they are, you know, looking at things. How do people live? Huh! Those ethos fools. Just because they can fix gears, they think they can act all high and mighty. How do they expect us to pay so much? Aha! There you go. What did I say about, oh, the highest payer, highest bidder, etc.? Damn. There you have it. Just like the microchips, or the super computer chip stuff that's going on. I told him not to drown in his sorrows, but he wouldn't listen, would he? But yeah, you could equate a relevant or similar thing to that almost. Almost. This is possibly the worst version of it though. Or, you know what, no, could be currently happening. Not to be grim, but it could be entirely relevant. Lucky Avenue, a relaxing bar. Wait, I just want to talk to this guy though. Yo, there we go. Hey, why the long face? Something bad happened. Hey, it's times like this you need a drink. Or two. Or three. Goodness. There's a bunch of thieves out in the desert called Sandmen. You gotta equip yourself properly. If you don't, you'll only have yourself to blame. Not really. They're not that tough. The prices here are a little high, but we need these things to cross the desert. What things? What are you selling? Welcome! I think that it was an item shop. Yeah. So Rosal is for restoring your MP. We're not going to need to worry about that too much, but wouldn't hurt to have a few of these on hand. I think we're fine on Aqua Souls for the most part. We have one survival tip, so that's okay. But I've heard a rumor that the Kislev army attacked a nearby village. Haha. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Lots of adults come to dig up the wounds. They all come wading in big geos. Yes, they do. So I'm trying to remember if it was someone else who's like an old person that says something crazy and, oh, don't listen to me, I'm just a crazy person. Lately, the town has become so lively. Well, aside from actually, there was the one guy we talked to about ethos. It's nice to see the children so happy. Hey, are you all soldiers here to dig up the ruins? I thought they were after bad Kisled men. Kisled men. I guess I was wrong. I wonder what kiss-led means to him. Maybe they were led by kisses. That's a funny way of putting it. Big profits for little work. That's the best way to make money. That's the knack. We make our money selling parts to excavate to the ethos. With that, we excavate to the ethos. The rarer the parts, the better the price. Dig it? Look at how they make the catchphrase out of it to make it seem like such a friendly little thing. I've got to improve the performance of my gear with the parts I bought here, even if it's only a little bit. I hear there are parts for your gear that increase the performance and abilities incredibly by just equipping them on it. I wonder if there's any such parts here. Somehow I doubt it. So, they're more so just hinting the player, hey, like, you should actually do things with your gear. You should actually not ignore it. They don't tell you how crucial that is, but it is kind of crucial. Something to pay attention to, because you can completely screw yourself over by not buying gear parts and upgrading your gear when you should. So it's always good to have a lot of money. Sorry, my part supplies are so low I can't sell anything to civilians. But yeah, it is important to have a lot of money when the time comes to buy gear parts, because that is more important. Like, yes, equipping your characters is important too, but there are... When I was a kid playing this game, I struggled with more stuff related to the gear battles than I did with the on-foot battles. The rest of the country has an unusual interest in this area's ruins. Large units have come to excavate all the ruins. Wait, what, did I read that right? I did not read that right, did I? Large units have come to excavate all the ruins. We're out of gear parts in the warehouse. I'm gonna have to order more from the Ethos headquarters. If requests for repairs keep coming at this place, we won't be able to keep up. We should ask the Ethos headquarters to expand this work. So, they need to ask Ethos to even expand their workshop, okay? Do you realize how controlling that is? To the point that they, like, we're getting so much demand, but we can't meet the supply. And we need Ethos to come here so that we're allowed to do that. Like, bro, just expand it yourself somehow. No, but of course they can't. I remember grinding for money to get past the Net's gear boss. Absolutely. Absolutely. That gear boss, I know you're referring to, the big one. The big one in the place. And there's only you and you know who. And yeah, I was stuck there. I kept losing that battle over and over. And then I was like, what can I do? So I tried talking to you know who. And then I was like, oh, I can buy gear? But there was two things I did. So I upgraded. I didn't understand how the gear upgrades work, so I might have spent money on nothing. But then another thing I also did was I only had Raijin still, so I grinded for the second ability. And once I did that, I used that, and I did so much better as well. I remember because that attack just does the extra damage that you need. And I think I also used booster as well. There was like a whole number of things I did. But once you have that filter, once you get filtered and you realize what you need to do, then you can overcome a lot of battles, except for like a few that are so annoying. But if you have an ether doubler, oh yes, this phase. But I'll have to ask the Ethos headquarters to send a mechanic that can repair army gears. So if something happens with an army gear, they can't repair it themselves. Those materials are hoarded specifically for the Ethos. Do you not you, Elwyn, but you, the viewer, do you understand how insane that is? Now, of course, we ask mechanics to prepare stuff for us, but imagine if you couldn't just call or ask your neighborhood mechanic because they don't have access to the gear. You have to call not Samsung or Acer or whatever, or this, or Sony. No, you have to call like your government or something to send someone to do the repairs. That's how it's like. So despite you having bought a thing, no one else can repair it because they don't have the tools. They don't have the access. So that kind of tells you how bad this situation really is. This is the waterworks. All of Dazil's water comes from this pump. This pump, okay? This one pump. Let's make that very clear. I know what he's about to say next. Or what this guy's about to say. Water is needed for the maintenance of gears. So our waterworks was also built to provide a steady supply of water to the workshop. Okay, it wasn't this person then, but there's a person that says where the water comes from. Oh yeah. Maybe you can guess this month's water supply schedule. I could have sworn there was... There's a person who talked about it, but if we don't find that person, I'll just say it. Just looking for other places where people could hang out. Because I'm trying to recall who said the thing. I can't find it. Maybe it was the person in the Ethos shop, but we'll see. Let's go to the Ethos shop. But then after this, I'll stop the recording for you guys who are watching at home. Wow, so this is the Ethos Workshop, huh, Doc? Yes, the Ethos Workshops are the only place that officially repairs gears. Let us see if we can get the parts we need to fix Beltol here. As they say, time is money, so we should do whatever we can as soon as we are able to. Huh? How can we help you? Sorry to bother you. Our gear has broken down, so I would like to buy some parts to fix it. Tough luck, huh? Can you tell me what the make of the parts you're after? Yes, we are hoping to replace an X29 model injection bypass circuit. X29 model injection circuit? That's only used on the latest military models. We don't even keep those kind of parts in stock here. You can only get such special parts by placing an order at the Ethos headquarters. As we've been hearing around town, this workshop is only for the repair of civilian gears. I see. Sorry to have bothered you. Sorry that we can't help you. Please don't touch it. It's being repaired. I think... Was there a way to talk to this guy? I don't think there was, but... But yeah, as you see, we can't touch it. So now they gotta figure out what to do. Doc, do you have a moment? I need to talk to you. Yes, of course, Faye. So, Faye, what did you want to talk to me about? Well, Doc, it's about Veltol. We can't find the parts we need, so is it alright if we just don't fix it? Ha! You see what he's doing here. Do not repair it? What is the problem, Faye? Well, I guess he means to not repair it. Well, we've been able to come as far as Dazil on our own. So doesn't that show that we don't need Veltol as much as we thought? Actually, I've been thinking that once things cool down, I want to go back to Lahan and help rebuild. That's all I feel I can do now. I see. If that is what you want, then... If that is what you want, Faye, then fine. But I think we should try to move Veltol as far away from there as possible. Move it away? But why do we need to do that, Doc? It is only my speculation, but I suspect the incident that evening occurred because the Gebler special... The incident that evening occurred because... I suspect the incident that evening occurred because the Gebler Special Forces stole the Kislev military. Oh, okay. I see what they're saying, but yeah. So he's saying the Gebler forces stole from Kislev. Special Force? You mean Elly's group? Exactly. When I examined the broken gear in the village, I realized the Gebler pilot was riding a Kislev gear. It must have been some new technology involved in it for the Kislev army to send pursuit forces after it. New technology? I suspect the Gebler force was out to steal the new experimental gear. I'm sure news of the Special Forces' failure has reached the capital. They will be investigating the Lahan area to reclaim whatever parts of the new gear that they can find. Hold on, Doc. Won't the Kislev army still be in Lahan too? Most probably. And in that case, there will be a conflict between Ave's inspection team and the Kids of Pursuit troops. If they find where we have hidden Veltal, the armies will fight over who gets Veltal, and right near Lahan too. So to avoid any problems, we should move Veltal somewhere else, right away. But we can't fix it in order to move it. Right. By staying here, staying here will solve nothing. Fortunately, this is the center of all excavation work in this country. There is bound to be some information on where we can find those parts. Anyway, the fear is often worse than the danger itself. We should not let such fears hold us back. Okay, so now we have to find out what we're going to do. But for you guys who are watching on the episodes, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Be back for the next episode soon, which I might just be pressing the record button again. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Leave your discussion down below so we can discuss, or if you know a lot about Xenogears, please put your thoughts down there. If there's something I missed, put it down there. So that way people who didn't get to see that, get to see that. And yeah, you know, but I'm going to keep going on the stream, and I'm just going to be pressing the record button once again. So see you soon.